moving on to our next topic.
Next topic.
Quinn, what is your topic?
This is the video game life topic, where you choose these are all video game characters that you have to choose, and it's your best buddy from a video game, so it's someone that would be your best friend set for life, and you only get to choose one, so you gotta choose wisely. The person that you'd marry in your life, out of any video game, and these can be from separate video games too. They don't have to all be from the same video game, same universe or whatever. It's just like they're here in this world,
sound effects
with you. And then this category was a little harder to find. It was because this was along the lines of like the inspiration was like the sex, marry, destroy, kill, destroy, build, destroy.
Yeah, like the high school like F, marry, kill.
Yeah,
like this. That was where it was built off of, and then it's
so the last one is like kill, but it's sort of like the way I wrote it down for myself to sort of get an idea was like kill or like your rival enemy, something that you overcome in your life. Because in a video game, you always got your best friend characters. So Mario always has Luigi, Donkey Kong has Diddy Kong, right? And then I guess this is the old-fashioned way. They're always trying to rescue the princess or something.
Princess in the castle.
And then there's the boss that you got to overcome. And so that's my topic. And how did you guys want to do it? Who wants to go first? Or
it's your topic, man. What do we choose?
We'll go.
Yeah, go for it, Quinn.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm okay with that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So my buddy, I was thinking really hard about this one because there's a lot of like cool video game friends, but I was thinking like in real life, who would be like a really awesome friend to have? And I chose Mega Man as my friend. So, okay, but here's my logic though.
Yeah.
So initially I was going to choose Mega Man EXE from the Mega Man Battle Network series because he's the best friend of the main character in that game. And he always like wakes him up and like tells him to when his stuff is like due for school and blah blah blah. And I was like, that'd be kind of cool, but he doesn't exist like physically. He's an online entity, so that'd be kind of sucky to have as a friend. Is just like, I mean, he could be in your phone all the time, and he could like he's pretty much like a guaranteed antivirus
Talk
program.
to my friend.
But it also kind of suck because it's just like. You can't interact with him. I mean,
he's like a Tamagotchi.
Exactly. Until they make like physical bodies for androids or whatever, they like can actually operate. Then he's just a phone thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, Mega Man's already a robot, so fine, we'll do him. Because I chose Mega Man because originally he was programmed, he wasn't programmed to fight. He was programmed to be just a regular house robot. So I was like. Well, that's cool. I can have a house robot that can probably like do dishes for me or something.
Just blast them clean.
Ahead.
I like how he was like, he's gonna be your best friend, and now he's just your slave.
Your
Just whatever you want him to do.
But at the same time, he has the capability to kill people that you want because he can turn into a super fighting robot and shoot them with his laser gun.
Oh my gosh!
Because I was like, well, if I'm gonna be Batman, I need to have my butler.
Wait, but Alfred never like goes out with Bruce to fight crime.
In my version of Batman, he is Robin.
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
That's the version of Batman I read up on.
Oh, okay, all right. All right.
And so,
we need to get out of here. Robin, help me. Oh God, my arm. Hold on, let me recover. Go ahead.
So the Mary, that's also hard. I
thought this is Harry Potter.
no, not Harry Potter. Well, because he's not from a video game. He's in video games, but he's not. The original work is not from video games.
Oh,
so
that's why Harry's not in this one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I chose Haru from Persona 5.
Okay.
So she's a girl that you get later on in the game. I just think she's
you get.
Well, yeah, because she joins your party.
She's the one everybody makes fun of because she's giggly.
She like gets giggly.
Who makes
no
fun
idea.
of the
In Persona 5?
but like
Well, I
the
remember-
characters or the
Well, I
community?
don't know. I hear like these memes and things of the,
Okay,
of, the,
so the
of the girl
community.
from Persona 5 who just her reactions are always like giggly or just like noises.
I haven't gotten that
Um,
far.
I don't know. In Persona 5?
Yeah, I only played like 25 minutes. of
Yeah,
it.
because he had to get taken back.
yeah,
or
it's not
whatever.
my game.
That's right.
Um,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't see any memes about that because
I don't apologize.
the thing
for my
about-
Harry Potter thing.
her character is, I don't. Do you want me to spoil? It's not that big of
No.
a spoiler.
No, because I haven't beaten it yet. I'm still playing Persona 5, and I don't want any spoilers. So but you go ahead.
Do you want me to explain like?
Well,
her-
maybe
no,
not
no,
like
no.
don't explain story elements.
Well, yeah,
but
it's not story
explain
elements. It's
character.
just personality.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
what
No,
you
go
wouldn't
for it.
expect.
Yeah, I think explaining a
Yeah. 'Cause
character
this is like-
not a
'cause a
spoiler.
lot of the-
Yeah. no.
Like if you
'Cause-
explain what a Terminator is, you're like, okay, but
no,
that
no.
doesn't tell you what like the.
Yeah.
I am probably even thinking of the wrong character because this is a character I haven't met in the game yet. So I don't.
Well, the
I
only
don't
memes
fully know
I've
the
seen
character.
about her is that she's got a 5 head. So
A 5 head?
yeah, do you know what that
Alright.
is?
Oh, like a 4-head,
Yeah,
but
but
a
it's
bigger
so
5
large. It's a
that you
5
can
head.
project a movie on it.
Yeah, that's the only memes I've seen about her part. Is she's got a
Oh
5
my
head.
God, a 5 head.
Um,
I've never heard of a 5 head, but I
Uh,
can assume, yeah.
So, you know, one of the explanations I always talk about for characters in Persona 5 is they're always based off of archetypes, but they play off those archetypes to trick your initial feeling towards a character for the most part. This is
Yeah.
why I was explaining to you, and you guys can complain to me all you want. I will probably not care. Maybe I will, probably.
You'll only
Was
cry
that I
for a
didn't like
couple days.
Yusuke really is because he kind of meets all the expectations I get from first seeing him. Is
Oh,
that I
yeah.
expect him to be like a calm sort of like, you know, well, not exactly stoic, but you know, kind of calm artsy guy.
Is that the guy we were talking about in
Yeah.
the car the other day? Yeah, I
Uh,
don't. Yeah,
and
I
then-
just unlocked him. Well, I
guess-
just came across him in the game, and I already don't like him.
And what you're the way it's supposed to defy your expectations is that he's quirky and does weird things, but it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
That's all right, because it's not really his personality. It's just he's weird. He doesn't know any better. I can't
Yeah.
really call that as like a personality thing. It's just like, it's like if a kid, I was about to say kills another kid.
Yeah, that's
That's pretty extreme.
I mean, you know.
It's like if a kid-
that's like diving off the deep end with
you know,
the
it's
water.
like when there's a 5-year-old in the store and they open up a toy or something. They're like not that smart enough to Okay, I'm gonna go younger because I'd still beat that kid. A 3-year-old walks into the store, like eats a banana that they see or something like that. They don't really fully understand like
Yeah.
it's a bad thing. They don't know what good and bad is. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that's what I think of him is that it's not really his personality by choice. It's just what he does.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really like him. I like Haru because one, her story is really cool. I'm not gonna go into depth about it, but I like her story. It's really awesome. Her personality is really cool. You know, she's chill. She likes. I like a calm life, you know, because I already had this discussion in my head because initially I chose On when I first started playing
Yeah, you
Persona
did.
5 because
Yeah, you did.
but then I was like
you know what I'm talking about.
but I was like I don't know, not that she's like one that would require a lot, but it's just like I don't know if I wanted to live because I imagine with her I'd be living in a pretty big house, I'd have like a nice car or something and it'd be like that, and I was like I don't know if I'm fine with those things, but I don't need those things.
Yeah.
Whereas Haru is just like simple life, and I was like,
Chie.
simple life
Is a good choice.
is a good life. Although I totally didn't choose that option in Persona 4 because I went with the girl that was a pop idol. So
Yeah, you want to say?
yeah,
Yeah,
But initially-
everyone chooses. Well,
but
okay, because like Chie, the reason why a lot of people don't choose Chie is because she doesn't give you any benefits. Like a lot of people choose the benefit. Okay, so in Persona 4 Golden, I don't know about Persona 5. There's a point where you go on this
you
like
get
snow
items.
retreat.
Yeah.
And this is like you will choose a girlfriend. Like you are done. You're moving on as this one. If you choose Chie, you get nothing. If you choose all the other ones,
You get something.
you get some sort of perk. And it was stupid. And I always get to that point and I stop playing. I've never continued on. I don't know why. I've gotten
You've
to the
never
point.
finished?
I've never finished Persona 4.
you see that the ski trip part isn't in vanilla.
It isn't, huh?
No,
It's
no.
in the show. I know
You know
that.
Persona 5's getting an anime?
Yes,
It is.
I've known that for a while.
They're
As soon as
they're getting a whole bunch of spin-off games too.
but it's
But-
gonna
You know.
Persona 5 Dance All Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But
ready for that
Persona
dancing game?
5, every girl gives you something.
Oh, I bet they do.
In that way too, sure.
I mean, I don't know. They didn't do it in Persona 4.
But
There's
yeah,
none of
it's
that.
weird though
None of that
because
hanky-panky stuff.
Persona 4, I chose
You're shaking
a
your
quiet
head like there is.
lifestyle.
No, there we go.
In
Ahead.
Persona 4, I
Quiet
chose
lifestyle.
quiet lifestyle
Yeah.
because Yukiko was the first girl I liked in that game.
Okay, yeah. I
But
can
then
see that
Persona
too.
5, because you get the added stuff, and Rize, if you didn't play vanilla, Rize pretty much does nothing to help the party besides navigate,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But in Persona 5, she can buff the party, she helps with all-out attacks, she has all these like bonuses.
Wait a
You mean
minute.
Haru?
No, Rize in Persona. I mean Persona.
I
4.
was
In
like,
Pers-
whoa,
in
is there a
Persona 4. In
crossover?
Persona
I
4,
did
my
not
bad.
know that. That would have been a spoiler.
In Golden,
Yes,
in
yes,
Golden,
okay, yeah.
she gives buffs to your all-out attacks.
What's the other girl name? Mary?
Marie?
Marie,
Yeah.
that's right. I never see she's a different character because like
Yeah, she was added
in the
in Golden.
anime. She's not in the anime.
No,
she's
not
in
in-
Golden only.
She's
she
in
was
Golden,
added to
and
that
she's
game.
old in the Golden anime because
Y-
Golden
yes,
has its own
yes,
anime.
but it doesn't. It's not dubbed though, and it's weird.
Oh, it
not
isn't?
se-
It's still
No.
not dubbed yet?
Maybe it's been a couple years now, but like I've seen the anime version and like it's all the voice actors. So like Troy Baker's in it, Aaron Fitzgerald's in it. Like all
It's
of
all
those
the good
voice
people.
actors from the game are in the anime. That's why I really liked it. But then seeing like as soon as I watched the first episode of Golden, I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I cannot do this. But yeah.
But then I played Golden, and I was like, you know what? After all this added content and hanging out, because you get to hang out with more of the characters,
Yeah.
I was like, I liked Rize a lot more. Whereas Persona 5, I was like, well, I'm sort of the Rize type.
Yeah,
and I was
she
like,
was,
yeah, she's
as
really cool.
soon as I saw, I was immediately like, okay, this is definitely.
and
yeah,
I didn't have the stats to even hang out with Haru, and I was like, so on my second playthrough, I was like, well, let's see what, and it was, it was
now,
good.
now, is it just like Golden, where like the relationship pretty much just gets to they finally kiss you and then it's over? Like that's as far as it goes.
Persona 5 does a little bit more with hangouts that you can do when you have them, because there's a bunch of hangout locations that you can choose from. So you can go see, like, there's a
Movie theater.
there's a movie
Yeah, I
theater.
was in
There's
4.
you can go watch like shooting stars with people. You can go to amusement parks. You can go to like dating locations. You can
So
go
there's
to ramen
more.
shops.
That's interesting.
And
Because like in Golden, it was just like
Yeah, it was
you
just-
hung out with them more.
Exactly.
And, like maybe a bit of dialogue happens. But,
and
like,
so in Persona
or maybe
5,
someone else meets you and you were dating the other person as well. And
Yeah,
that didn't
exactly.
turn out very well.
but in Persona 5, they'll give you a unique dialogue the first time you go there with someone, and then after that, it'll just be like, you hung out with them or whatever.
Okay.
So it's only a few times afterwards if you're already max ranked with them. Well, it also can be before you're max ranked. It's just the first time you hang out with them in that location.
So what about your enemy though?
But I didn't get to
yeah.
explain Haru as to why I thought
Yeah.
the
I thought you
character
have.
trait.
Okay.
No, I do like her. Well, that's why I would marry her, is because she's the quiet life. But explaining David how she betrays types is that she goes crazy in battle. She has like a battle axe and like a missile launcher and stuff for her stuff, for her items. And like one of her things is like she just mercilessly kills the shadows and like gets joy from it and stuff like that.
Okay.
Gets off on killing all
Yeah.
of them.
Nice.
Covered in blood.
Exactly. She's like, one of the dialogues is like, I enjoy the screams of the shadows or something like that, or like she
When you do like the all-out attack
Yeah,
on
when
her
you
and
do
she's
the-
doing her that little screen pose. That one, yeah.
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 She really it's
Oh, now you know how I feel when you guys talk about Persona 4.
Well, there you go.
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, it's good. I like her a lot. She's a girl that can kill and also cook you a cup of coffee. That's a girl worth keeping.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put that on the checklist there. All right, and who would you?
See, all my things
Be
are
your
about
rival.
killing people. I got Mega Man.
I know. I was like,
Yeah,
geez, what is
yeah.
this dark
I'm
side of
worried
you?
about my life. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta have bodyguards.
Dang, that's a brutal. Okay, I
Yeah.
want to know more
So,
about that.
my rival enemy wasn't someone that I thought was really difficult when I played the game. But it was something that was like a very strong presence, was really creepy, and had a lot of symbolic meaning. Was Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2.
Is he
Silent
not in 1?
No, he's only
just in 2?
See, a lot of people know from the movies and also from a lot of media, they always see Pyramid Head, but he might appear in some of the later games because he's sort of become the mascot of Silent Hill, but he was originally only in 2 because a big part of Silent Hill is psychological horror, and it's supposed to be Silent Hill, also hell, is supposed to be a manifestation of your own personal hell. So it looks different based off of your own fears and what your own, because people who go there pretty much are people who have sinned or committed some type of wrong or feel really guilty about
In the
some things
game,
they've done.
yeah.
And I liked a lot of I thought Pyramid Head was a really cool boss to overcome because it's just like a very alien thing. You don't see its face. It's just like a giant butcher. It has a sword, and it's very creepy. And what it means for, I believe the protagonist in Silent Hill 2 is James Sunderland or something like that. And it's supposed to represent like, I guess his like, I can't fully remember since I haven't played it in a while, the explanation, but it was like his unrepressed desires and masculinity and stuff. And like, how it treats the other creatures in Silent Hill is supposed to be like a metaphor for how he treated his wife and stuff like that.
Like
it's
the
really
mannequins?
weird. Yeah, his mannequins and like, even though it's not
Everyone
technically
remembers
true,
that part.
like a big part of Silent Hill is like what is real and what isn't.
Yeah.
And that includes like events that have happened, and it has probably one of my favorite twists, and also it has multiple endings. Oh, it's so good. It's a really good game. Like one of the endings you can get like a suicide ending. And that can be gained just from like, there's a knife that you get. It's a useless item, but if you view it a lot of times, like you just look at it and read the description or whatever, a lot of times, it's like an invisible meter that's like your suicide meter. So at the end of the game, you can get the suicide ending just by viewing this knife a lot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like of just
That's not the only way to get the suicide ending,
yeah.
but that's one of the ways. And I was just like, that's really freaking awesome.
do we have
And
to
there's
do
also
PT
another
plays?
one.
I think we have to do.
That would be cool. But there's another one where like if you try to help certain people like too many times, you'll get a different ending. That's like you don't move forward, and it's a lot of symbolism in this game.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose Pyramid Head, is because it's like a symbolic enemy that you gotta overcome. And that is my Bud Mary kill. And I went on for a while, but I had to explain a lot.
It's all good. It's good.
All right, who wants to go next?
Your topic, man.
All right, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
For me, I looked at it as, like when we were talking about the topic, I brought it up as like how would like if I was back in high school, who would be my best friend, who would be my girlfriend, and who would be like the teacher that I couldn't stand, that I would be glad to be done with after I graduated. Be like, nope, don't have to deal with you ever again. Pain in my ass. Tired of having to deal with you. I'm done. So. For me, my buddy, best friend would have to be Balthier from Final Fantasy 12. That dude is the man. He is the leading man, as he would say himself in the game. I'm the leading man. What can I say? And all that kind of stuff. I don't remember if he says the "what can I say" part, but like he would always, in situations, he'd be like, "Yeah, I got this. I'm the leading man." And there's a moment at the end that kind of flips that on its head, which makes me kind of laugh. But he's cool. He's confident. He always knows like what to do in a situation. He's a sky pirate. And that's awesome. And I feel like he'd just be a cool dude to hang out with. He's just super chill. He never gets stressed out. Doesn't get mad. He plays with guns.
That's a good hobby.
I don't know. I mean, like. Yeah, I think for me, I just Balthier was just if you've played 12, you will know that he is one of the standout characters. He is probably he's one of the characters that really drives the story in the game. He's the one that kind of just knows a lot. Usually when you need to go somewhere or get something, he's the one that knows where you go to get it and background behind it. He's just a cool guy, and that's he's not very drama heavy or her, and he like you with Haru, like he's just laid back.
Yeah, he's
He's
just someone you
his
like to
head,
be around.
Yeah, his head's always on his shoulders. He always knows what to do in a situation, you know. And if you've played the game, I think you'd understand. I think people who've played 12 will, because he really is one of the standout characters from that game. Him and Fran are, in my opinion, the best duo in a Final Fantasy series. Because there are other. I know I've brought it up a lot, but in Final Fantasy games, there's some of them usually have a pair in the game, and for me, they're the best pair in the Final Fantasy series. For me, my high school my video game girlfriend or person I would marry, I think if you know me, you already know who it's gonna be.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
Nope.
No. Even before we started, I'm like, I'm going to represent, and I'm going to cook, and I'm going to put on my hoodie
Yeah.
and represent.
You can take your jacket off now. If you
I'm
really
going to
want
take it off. Yeah, I'll take it off now because it's hot. But it is Talizora Noraya, Talizora Vosnima, Talizora Vos Normandy.
Her name's Tally. Just go.
We'll just go with Tally. Tally for short. She's one of my favorite characters.
She is a really
all
good character.
time.
I will tell you one of the least amount of the person that I spent the least amount of time with.
Why? That's too bad.
Because I chose different people because I already
Yes.
knew based off of what you've told me,
Yeah.
kind of who she was. So I was like, okay, it's
But
kind of
her
like
dialogue is
but
so
it's kind of
good.
like when your friend tells you about like a girl that's really awesome and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and I've heard so much about
Uh-huh.
them,
You're
and then I go in and I start talking to them. I'm like, okay, I already know a lot about this. So then I just started talking about other people like Jack or Ashley. I started talking with both them, and I was like,
Tally's story herself doesn't really. I love her intro. How you have to go and save her from the Shadow Broker's setup or the information deal going wrong.
yeah, that's part of the reason why I like Jack's story. It's like
But her story doesn't really develop till the second game.
Yeah.
She's just kind of a character that's there in the first one after you do the mission to
Yeah,
have
you
her be
can't
part of the-
relationship her.
Not in the
first
first one,
game. Yeah,
no.
you can do it in the second one.
You
though.
do it in the second one.
You
Yeah.
definitely can do it in the second one and third one.
God, what is with you tonight and doing it with people?
You've picked characters that have had those options for them. Okay, let's be fair.
But
I'm sure.
If you picked a character from like The Sims, obviously I'm like, yeah, you better because you can do it. With
you
them.
make a baby with them.
With Tally, you can. I mean, you can't have a baby. But
Oh, okay,
like,
I was gonna say what?
you can
What?
definitely.
there are scenes.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
are scenes.
there's two scenes. Well,
Yeah.
at the end, it's like you get the
in
one
2 and
very.
3. Yeah.
But like Jack doesn't have one of those.
So
A baby scene?
No, Jack just no. There's a do it scene at the end.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like because you got
She
to get to
doesn't
the
have
very.
one?
No, Jack. All she does is she just hugs you because she knows that you now care for her,
That's lit.
and
Well,
she's undressed, but like she's not really much.
Jack is very keeps to her. She's very closed off.
Yeah, you have to
from
keep
everybody else.
bugging her.
Yeah, you have
every
to,
time.
You have to
to unlock
really.
that ending.
Yeah, you have
And
to
I did.
really like pursue her for
Yeah,
it.
and I
but
did. That's what I chose.
but
Bit it in
Your
the ass on the third
perseverance.
one though.
Your perseverance.
Tally, I love her personality. She's adorable. I think she's funny. I love the voice actress performance of
My
her.
favorite part's when she gets drunk.
Oh,
She gets-
emergency induction. So she's got a straw
Yeah.
she's sipping from, and she's having trouble getting the straw in her emergency induction port in the face of her visor, and she's just sitting here just like emergency induction ports. And she's babbling, and if you did romance her, she babbles on about how, my father never will believe the fact that I'm dating a human.
Oh,
Things
she
like-
does allude to the fact that she does like me.
Yeah.
Because I think
Well, the
I
thing is-
talked to her a few times, but I never got too far.
You
So-
didn't do the committed. You didn't commit.
No, I never committed.
Yeah.
The only time I ever had to deal with the oh boy was Ashley and
Liara.
Liara. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the only one.
Yeah. In the first game, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
in the first one,
Um.
because they were like,
Yeah.
don't
Well, you
know.
probably didn't know better.
no, I didn't. I was
Yeah.
just being a friend.
Yeah.
Just like in Persona when you go to hug or comfort someone and then you end up in a relationship.
Yeah. And I just loved her dialogue options. I loved all the scenes with her. I just really loved her as a character, and she will probably forever and always be my video game girlfriend.
There you go.
You know. Especially, the moments when she's drunk are the best. If you haven't seen the scene in the Citadel DLC when she's drunk and you find her on the bathroom floor,
No, I did not
you
get to that
should
point.
you should totally look it up on YouTube. It's so funny. It's so good. As for moving on, as for the character that I would pick that I'd be good and done with would be the Kerber demon from Dark Souls, because that is the Dark Souls boss that has, of all the Souls games, has took me the longest to beat on my first playthrough. Yeah.
Is this the one you were describing with Ashton with me?
I don't...
Is this the one with the big dragon?
No.
Oh,
No. That's in Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
That one took me the most times to beat in Dark Souls 3. It took me, I think, eight tries to beat him. Just because the camera angle is terrible. Like, when the second he flies off, you lose him. Like, your camera... Because normally when you lock on to an enemy, you lock on and you'll stay locked on. But when he takes off so fast that the camera breaks. And if you can't find him right away, he's going to hit you and you're dead. Like, that's it. He
really
hits
good
you
mechanic.
and you're dead if you can't see him. And sometimes the problem is he'll be so high you can't angle the camera up high enough to see him. It's not their best boss fight mechanically, in my opinion, and it all comes down to the camera. It's the camera is the problem, in my opinion, in that fight. Once you can because you have to fight him on the dragon, and then you defeat the dragon, and then you have to fight the king by himself, and that part took me, I think, when I got to that part, I think that took me like 3 tries to beat him when I got that. But getting to that part felt almost like luck. And I know the Souls games don't go for luck, like it's precision. But the problem is with that fight is the camera. The camera is it's so aggravating. But
he's runner up to this guy.
Yeah, because this guy probably took me 50 times. I probably died 50 to 100 times. I don't know, to beat this guy on my first playthrough, and it's the Kerber demon. If you've played Dark Souls and you don't know who that is off the top of your head, he is the guy where when you're in the undead burg, you go through the veil, the white haze through the door. It's the little room, and I will describe this because anybody who knows this room and has played this game will know this room. It's the room. It's the guy with the 2 swords with like the antler head, 2 dogs, stairs in the corner, and a tree. And it's a small room, and this guy's swords can basically, he can basically cover the whole room, most of it, depending on where you're standing. And the big problem are the 2 dogs. If you can't get rid of those dogs like that, just boom, like that, you are not gonna win that fight. And the thing is these dogs are just basic, low level, like dogs that you can just wipe out in like 2 hits each. But if those dogs get on you and you don't kill them instantly and he gets to you, you are screwed. Like you're just not gonna do it. Yeah. Because the trick is the second you go in, you have to run it. You run past them, and this room that we're talking about is probably smaller than my apartment. Okay, and you have to run to these stairs, go to the top, and then the dogs will run and he walks. So the dogs will run up, and you got to kill those dogs like instantly. If you take just like a second too long and he starts going up those stairs, you're done. And if you time your jump off, because you kind of have to cheese him a little bit with the stairs, because you run up the stairs, you kill the dogs, and then the second he comes up, he comes up the stairs about halfway, and he'll swing at you. And he swings at you, you have to roll off the stairs, and then that gives you like about 2 or 3 seconds to kind of readjust yourself and get ready to attack him, because the tree is right there. So the tree also kind of gives you sort of like a line of sight, because he'll just walk. He doesn't like go down the stairs. He just walks off the stairs. So he'll just walk off. It's not like a huge fall. Yeah. It's like maybe like 10 feet or so. And he just falls off, and then he will you want him to kind of get stuck on the tree, and then you can hit him, and then you just pray you don't die. It is literally the one fight in the whole Soul series. I haven't played Bloodborne yet, but in the Soul series, that I struggled the most. Uh-huh. And the sense of accomplishment that I got when I killed that boss, he is not including the tutorial boss. He is the second boss in the game.
Wow. And
If I
so
remember
after
right.
that, it's all downhill from there. You're
Well,
good to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that fight was, especially on your first playthrough and your character, unless you like grind and power level yourself and power level your armor, so they're super good. If you just go in there with your basic gear at your normal level, you are gonna have a hard time. And
Gonna have a bad time.
You're just. He's just that boss that just like whenever I think of a boss that just drove me nuts, it will always be him until somebody else comes along. But for right now, it's him. I cannot. It's hard for me to convey like the struggle of trying to beat this guy. Literally, 50 times. And the problem is you die. You have to get back there.
Yeah.
And you have to hopefully not get killed. Yeah. Capper Demon. Glad to be done with.
What grade would you have gotten in his class?
Oh, F.
What class?
And
would
he
it- would have been-
he had
what
to
would- what would
retake
he
it
have
50
taught?
times.
Gym
Gym
class.
class.
Failed every time.
He would have beat your butt.
Would have beat my butt. I'll run all the laps up and down those stairs.
Oh, gee. You would have had the
with
dogs
with the
out?
dogs chasing me. Yeah.
Man.
That boss, like that is a boss fight. I want I think everybody should at least try so you can just understand the pain.
The pain and suffering that it is.
Yeah, because it really on my second playthrough with my character, at a good level with maxed out gear, it took me like 2 tries. But when you're brand new to the game and your character is at the level you should be for you are, and when your gear is at the level he is tough, and it's because his attack swing is big, the room is tiny, and those goddamn dogs. Because half the time I would die because I couldn't kill the dogs fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, so yeah, it's hard to follow in those. I don't know. For me it's kind of hard cuz like I do like a lot of story games, but over the last couple of years they've been very far and few between, you know what I mean? Just cuz trying to do, Primal Target and the thing I've done before that, it's just like trying to
Eats a
be
lot of
involved
time.
with all of those things. I want to go back. It's part of the reason why I've gone back to do like, some games over this last year. So I originally had Dom as my bud.
Yeah.
And
Dom's cool.
and I was like,
He could kill people too.
Yes,
Huh.
he could kill people. But
Yeah.
then I just
Saw him right
the
half.
reason why I chose Dom, but I just started picking him apart. And I mean, Dom was a really good friend. He's a really good friend. He's your buddy till the end
Mhm.
of his life that
Yeah.
he chose, but he did give his life for you. And then I was going back and forth between Songbird and Big Daddy. And I went Big Daddy only got there because it'd be cool to have a monster like that thing following you around the whole time.
That
Exactly.
would be a really weird friend to have. I'm gonna be honest.
But like, would you mess with the guy that's friends with a big dude with a drill?
no, but
Exactly. So
Am I going to start calling you little sister now?
no.
Right?
So I think the best thing. Hey, you can control him with one of the
No, I know,
atoms.
but,
It's,
yeah.
Anyway, so I chose Songbird, and the reason why, and this is on short notice, so because we don't pick our topics until like here. If I had time, I probably would have picked someone else. But Songbird, because oh man, this is gonna be a big spoiler. Is this okay?
The spoiler.
Okay,
I
here
mean,
it
it's
is.
up to you.
Spoiler alert. Put the thing down
Yeah.
here. Spoiler alert
Yeah.
for BioShock Infinite.
Oh shit.
For a game that's
Um,
what 7 years old.
It came
About?
out in 2013, I think.
5.
Yeah,
Almost
I think
5-ish?
it came out in
I
2013.
don't
It's an Xbox 360 game. Anyway,
Yeah.
Songbird, he gives his life for a very fraction of a second. Now, he is your enemy for a very long while,
Mm-hmm.
but when you come to find out, Songbird's been protecting Elizabeth
He's
this whole
protecting
time.
Elizabeth
Yeah.
from you.
Exactly, thinking you're the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's there's this sense of Songbird gives his life to save Elizabeth,
Mhm.
and you're like, you don't know
Mhm.
why Songbird was fighting so hard
Mm-hmm.
until the very end of the game, and it's like man, I don't want to destroy the ending. Like, is it? I mean, it's because of him,
Yeah, I
though.
still haven't played.
Oh, that's up to Quinn then.
I mean,
It's a big spoiler.
It's a huge
Is
spoiler.
it a big part of his character that
No,
No,
but
it's a
this
big part of-
ruins
this will ruin the
the
game.
story.
Yeah,
This ruins the
This will
story.
ruin the game if you haven't played it, and you have.
It's
any
your
insight.
choice.
I don't want to hear
Okay.
it. It's going to
Okay.
ruin the
Okay,
game.
so
Yeah.
being as vague as possible, when Songbird dies, you're like, you don't know why
Yeah.
until the very end,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, whoa, because when you go back, because you don't really think about Songbird that much.
No.
Because
You just think, oh,
he's
it's a big boss
in
fight.
blips.
It's-
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a boss you fight. You have to escape from him. He's literally the first creature you see in the beginning of the game because you're breaking Elizabeth. This is not a spoiler. You're
Yeah.
breaking Elizabeth out of the whole tower that she's locked in. So he's thinking
He's
you're
chasing you down.
he's trying to get you because you took Elizabeth. And Songbird's there to protect Elizabeth the whole time. That's what his job is. That's what he was designed and built for. And you don't know a lot about Songbird. It's just he's kind of around, and then he appears every so often to remind you that he still exists.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of his life, when he goes down into the water, he starts to compress and he dies. And you're like, that's intense. But then you go back and play it through again, and you realize Songbird was there to protect Elizabeth for a very obvious reason that you didn't know for a very long time. And it'd be cool to have a giant bird. That's the
a giant
steampunk.
bird.
It's a giant steampunk bird,
Mhm.
and his eye like goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
You don't. I don't think you have Songbird.
I don't think
He
we
does
have
have.
Songbird.
He does have
do have
a
Big Daddy.
pop vinyl, but it's very hard to find sometimes.
Oh, Songbird?
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
'cause they
at
stopped-
at GameStop you could find him pretty easily, but
We had him at our store for a while.
Yeah, he's a big one.
Yeah,
he's
that they
he's
don't
in a
make
big
anymore.
one.
Yeah, he's a big one.
But yeah, that's yeah, it would be cool to have Songbird. Obviously sticking with the theme.
Could you keep him in your house, or would he be outside?
No, Songbird would probably have to. I mean, he was in his cage. He was in a cage at some point. I think. I don't know. But it's weird because then you start to realize. Dang it.
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
So you make a choice. You make a choice. This isn't spoiling. You make a choice in the very beginning of the game with the twins or with the husband and
Are you
wife
thinking
or
about the
whatever.
pendants?
Yeah. So
Those
you get
have
the,
no. Those have
yes.
no meaning.
But
Well,
if you think about it, it kind of does. But anyway, there is a cage and there's a bird, and the reason why it was put in the game is because the developers wanted you, as Booker, to choose what Elizabeth looks like. And so Elizabeth will have a pendant that you chose, whether or not it was the cage or the bird. And picking whichever one, Elizabeth wears that pendant through the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And she will always wear it. And so that was the kind of like when you go into depth of that, you kind of relate some other characteristics between Songbird. But yeah, that's I think it'd be cool to have him as my bud. It'd be cool to have a bird like that.
He could fly you.
He could,
Places. You
and
wouldn't
he's
have
very
to pay.
fast.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
he's
have to
kind of a
pay
pain in the
for,
ass
uh,
sometimes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to pay
Um,
for planes no more.
Yeah, he's in the trailer.
Yeah.
He's in the trailer of the game. The teaser of BioShock Infinite was Elizabeth reaching out
Uh-huh.
and you falling, and then you get picked up. And I think that's Songbird that picks you up. I think.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Now I'm just thinking that was it. Okay, so then anyway, this next one came into two different people. Actually, then it came into the third because then you mentioned Mass Effect. There's two people in Mass Effect that I really, really, really liked. So much so that I think Jack should deserve her own game. I would love to see a story behind that.
Jack and Dax.
But yeah, exactly. That was what it eventually became.
Jack and Miranda.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that game.
Whoa, I can. But then, so
Not
so
that kind of game, right?
I mean, anyway. So Jack was Jack's one of those people that I would be like, it'd be cool, but like I think she'd be great. I don't know. She'd more be a great friend anyway. And then Ashley was a big part of Mass Effect, but I don't think enough for me to like say that's the crush. And then Lara Croft, but the new Lara Croft, because obviously it's Camilla Luddington. But then I was like, it's probably just because it's Camilla. That's the reason why I chose her. I wouldn't ever really want to go on adventures like that. And then I picked Elizabeth, because Elizabeth sticks by you through a lot of crap.
She finds you things.
And she finds you things. She looks after you.
Uh-huh.
And so Elizabeth
She can
is
take
from.
it anywhere she
She's your-
wants.
Yeah,
girl.
she can tear. She can pull tears, so she can go through, which is really cool. There's an Easter egg in the beginning when you see her tear for the first time. She tears to Paris, and during
Oh,
the
yeah.
time of, and it's up of the top part of the movie playing is Star Wars, which is interesting because that game's time setting does not set foot into
Right.
But it was
It
just an
takes
Easter
place
egg. It's in
before.
yeah,
It takes
it's
place
way
before
before.
Star Wars was released. Yeah.
But anyway, so Elizabeth can do that. She has a special power. But remember, this is me choosing. I'm choosing as for myself, not as Booker. Need to clarify that. So anyway, Elizabeth, I would choose because, she looks after you. She does get mad at you because she finds out you're not taking her to Paris, and she don't like that. But so she doesn't like to be lied to. She likes to be honest.
Gotta have an honest,
She's-
open relationship.
She's
you know?
no, that's not. I don't think that's the one she was saying.
Yeah.
Honest. She's very honest. She takes care of you. And because I know I need someone else looking after me for my life to go.
See, you gotta have a bodyguard like me.
I guess Elizabeth could do that, but she really doesn't fight. She doesn't.
Well, she'll give you stuff to fight with.
Yes, she will. And believe me, she makes BioShock Infinite so much easier. Like
If you actually use her.
because
Yeah.
like if you go through BioShock, like you know how really awesome having another person. It's essentially taking that whole element of like, holy crap, I'm out of ammo. And then Elizabeth gets thrown in BioShock Infinite, and you're like, nope, you will never run out of ammo. That's why I kept the pistol the whole time, because I'm like, I never ran out of ammo. So Elizabeth would be like the Mary, I guess, of that whole situation. And then the kill part was very difficult as well, because
You kill her too.
I was trying to figure out who, because again, I just don't really know. And then you guys said Titus, and I was like, yeah, that's probably right, because it turned me off of a whole franchise.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
turned like
that-
I will.
You were done with Final Fantasy.
I just didn't want to play Final Fantasy, and you guys keep talking about it. So it's like I actually have been going through all my games because I've been moving, and so I found Final Fantasy 13 is the one with lightning, right? Yeah. So I was like, oh, I do have the first one. Like I have. So I was like, oh, I kind of want to play this. That's on PS3, so I'll have to doink around with that. But anyway, I mean, I just don't know. Like Titus is a terrible person. I just know that. He's too happy for his own good. But like I just can't really
You can't do it.
if I say another character, I don't know if I can say it under this roof, you know what I mean? So,
I don't know what you're trying to hint at, so.
he starts with an L.
L.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, hold on.
From what series? Oh, I don't. No, you go right ahead. You say
Winkle.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Don't be afraid of
Of the repercussions
of
in which
the
will ensue.
repercussions.
You're talking about Winkle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's part of the it partly goes into what we talked about last episode was if we were to make a game, what would be terrible of a game and stuff. I just don't really like Link that much. I just
Fair.
don't know, but I know why people like him because they can easily portray themselves as him
As the hero
and
of
as the
Hyrule.
hero
Yeah.
that does everything right. Just to what? Like what is he? I just don't. But like he. But yeah, like I just don't really know why. So I'm gonna eliminate Titus off of this one. Just because for the sake of this one and for the sake of short time of thinking of characters, because I'm sure I can think of a character later on of like, oh, I totally annihilate that person. But like, if I was to pick like probably the most most people that would probably comment and hate me for it, I just don't like the games just because I like going on a story and hearing that person like throw themselves as a character. Now it's not. I do like characters like Shepard though. Like that's as far as I'll go into like portraying myself as another character, because like I want to hear a story. I want to know where the story continues on, and hear the character, because then I can go, okay, this is how this character acts. So based on, and then if I make a decision like in Mass Effect of like, oh, I'm going to talk to this person and say this thing, that's me talking, but the video game knows I am talking to them now. And so with Link, he just doesn't really do anything. He just kind of goes.
He just stares there and listens.
And then everyone else in the game, kind of. I know you're probably like wanting to say something, but it's. And I'm curious to hear what you say about it. But it's just like when I go up to somebody and they just assume I'm a mute. And like they just talk to me. They talk at me. They don't really talk to me and like give me information. That will like. They're wanting more information from me. They're just kind of going, go do this. It's like, okay. I can't say okay, but see you later, I guess. And I run off and go do my... That's why I just didn't continue on Breath in the Wild. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And again, I do want to go on... I respect all of that franchise. And I know why people love those games. And I know... there are elements of those games that I actually would really like. It's just that's part of the reason why I don't play those games is because it's like, when I have options of playing Grand Theft Auto where it's like this long cinematic, universe of things, or Mass Effect where it's this, you have to talk to everybody. I love diving into characters and figuring out. That's why I love talking to Jack, or I love talking with Ashley. It's because a lot of people didn't focus on those characters. So when I talked to them or saved one of them, it was cool to find out information that other people didn't know. And like I got to find out. Like that was, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I would kill Link. I'd kill Link in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Or in a half heartbeat.
Heartbeat. Yeah.
Half heartbeat.
Because you can get a half a heart in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? Do you have any
That's
anyone got anything? You guys didn't really talk about my characters. I don't really know.
No, because I think your characters. I think it fits.
I disagree with everything you said. No,
I was assuming if you were gonna say something about Link, but
no, I don't care.
I mean, you like Zelda though. It's like
Yeah, I like playing Zelda.
So what do you think about Link then?
He's
Do you
alright.
agree?
I think.
right.
I think he's.
I
a
wouldn't.
boring character.
I
a little
wouldn't
bit,
kill him, but he's like. It's someone that does something. It's like okay, because Link has some personality, but not really. It's like portrayed through his actions or whatever. But it's more like because he's silent, so you don't really get a lot of depth about him. It's like an NPC. I don't hate something for exist. I don't hate this lamp for being there.
for being a lamp.
I don't hate that. Like if something was 2 centimeters off from where I would like it or something, I don't hate it for being.
Yeah,
there, it's just like. Well, that's life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna deal with it. When you get lemons.
So when you're saying you put up with him.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious as
I don't.
Well, I don't even think of him as existing when I'm playing him though.
Really?
Yeah, because he's what I control. It's like when I drive a car.
You're just you're controlling the car.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
To
like put him into that perspective of like not as a character.
Yeah, he's just
and
a
to
tool
put him.
to play
he's
the
just
game.
there. He's just he gets me from point A to point B. You use him to be who he is.
just like I'd use Mega Man.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to our third and final topic. This is your topic.
We're getting the head shaking at us right now.
Oh, I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Ryan.
If I
He's the
said
one that
I was
suggested
like
it.
signaling, and he let me go, and I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, I'm gonna go." I couldn't do Titus.
I think a rebuttal is gonna happen right here.
Is that what it is? Does he actually talk at something? The only time I know. When does he say that? When can you think of a time he says Link?
I don't know.
You don't know? If everyone said that it was his name was Link, wouldn't some people call him like Buttface McGee, as some people?
Majora's Mask, Malon calls him Grasshopper.
Okay.
Oh, that's a dumb name. I'm gonna call you Grasshopper because you're wearing green.
Okay. But see, he didn't say it though. Is my
Just because he doesn't have dialogue doesn't mean he doesn't say it.
This is true. I don't know. I just can't.
You think it's wrong.
But yeah, I don't know.
And it's your opinion.
But that
what
was
it
my
is.
thing. It was like I just it's what I don't like about Half-Life. It's
Yeah,
like
'cause
I
Gordon
don't
Ram-
like
You
Because
don't
it's
like
not
the silent
Gordon Ramsay.
protagonist.
it's not Gordon Ramsay. And believe me, if it was Gordon Ramsay, it'd be a totally different game.
Yeah, you're just not a fan of the silent protagonist, is what.
Yeah, I don't like- that's why-
the nitty gritty.
That's why in the last episode,
you don't like the silent.
yeah, in the
protagonist.
last episode I talked about that of like if
Yeah.
I was to make a terrible game, I would put a silent protagonist in it because I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know this person's story. Link just kind of shows up.
Just there.
I mean, in Breath of the Wild, he wakes up shirtless. You kind of wander around, but you do get told things
Yeah.
about your past,
Yeah.
and you figure it out.
A Link to the Past.
Ah, see, there's a segue.
Now we're gonna talk about that game. For
No, I don't know.
Okay. What if that was the game I was gonna talk about?
But anyway, we're
All right.
moving on to our third and final.